When you want to win a battle, call the Krogan, but if you're trying to win a war, look no further than the Turians. Their military prowess and strict discipline have done them and the rest of the galaxy plenty of favours in the past, as well as earning them the affectionate nickname of the War Nerds. They stopped the Krogan rebellions, helped in the fight against the Reapers, and if many a fansite are to be believed, stopped a few hearts along the way. Hi, I'm Matt from MassEffectFollower, and in this video let's find out what makes the Turians tick. Looking into Turian history, it is rich with conflict, and there have been 4 major wars that are affiliated with this race. Even while they were first exploring the stars, a civil war known as the Unification War raged among the Turians. Colonies established far away from Palaven were extremely isolated due to there being no unified government that stretched that far, and they developed paranoia and xenophobia as a result. This led to an open war between the various colonies, with many Turians tattooing their faces with the markings of their respective colonies as a form of patriotism. Eventually, the Turian government finally intervened. However, by this time, only a few colonial factions remained, and all were too weak to resist. Peace between the factions was brokered, though it took many years for the animosity between the warring colonies to go away completely. However, most Turians still wear the facial markings of their home colonies. The Krogan rebellions marked the time when the Turians finally made contact with the Citadel races, at that point just the Asari and the Solarians. They were brought into the fray at the Citadel's main defense against a continual Krogan onslaught. Though their military campaign started out promising, the Krogan quickly retaliated in force, going as far as to use fusion torches to launch asteroids at Turian colonies, wiping out entire worlds at a time. Eventually, once the Turians began resorting to sacrificing their own ships for small victories, the Citadel races were forced to resort to extreme measures. The Solarians created the Genophage, a weaponized airborne agent that drastically reduced Krogan birth rates, and the Turians dispersed it on the Krogan homeworld of Tuchanka. This crippled the Krogan, ending the rebellion and earning the Turians a seat on the Citadel Council. Another conflict brewed with the humans in a war what was known to the Turians by the Relay 314 incident. As humans were first taken to the stars, and before discovering any other sentient races, they attempted to activate a deactivated mass relay, not knowing of the laws in place prohibiting such an action. A Turian patrol came across the human explorers and opened fire. This sparked a war between the humans and the Turians. Suffice it to say, neither made a good first impression. The war was short-lived, but a bloody conflict, with both sides taking considerable losses. It wasn't until the Citadel Council intervened, just as both sides were preparing for a full-scale assault, that the battles came to an end. They introduced humanity to the galactic community, ending the hostilities, though the Turians were told to make reparations to the humans as penance for instigating the feud. Needless to say, both races were highly mistrustful of the other for many years.
Is this report accurate, Commander? You found Rachni on Noveria?
Found them and wiped them out. Do you take pleasure from committing genocide, Shepard?
Depends on the species, Turian.
Resembling a cross between dinosaurs and birds, Turians are among the most alien-looking sentient species in the known Mass Effect universe, at least from a human perspective anyway. With crests adorning the heads of the males, where females tend to have more of a bald look, and mandibles around their mouths, one could be excused for comparing them to giant insects at first glance. The Turians are thick-skinned, both figuratively and literally. Their hard metallic carapaces have been evolved over the years to combat the solar radiation on their home planet of Palaven. Rather than fingers and toes, Turians have 2 talons and a thumb on each hand, with 2-toed feet. This is similar to the Quarians and isn't the only trait shared by the 2 races. Turians' legs have a similar bowed shape, and both races are dextroprotein based, and are the only 2 known sapient species to share that trait. As such, Turians and Quarians tend to eat similar foods, since both races are biologically compatible for the most part, Therefore, a romance between a Turian and a Quarian is not entirely uncommon.
How about a dive in the pool?
You obviously haven't seen Turians swim. It's a lot of flailing and splashing, interrupted by occasional bouts of drowning.
The Turian hierarchy is extremely advanced and is based off an elaborate tier system ranging from up to 27 citizenship tiers. All Turians in lower ranking tiers are expected to obey the rules of their superiors, whereas higher ranked tiers are purposed for leadership and protection. The top tier consists mainly of Turian Primarchs whose role is to take command of colonization clusters, and promotion or demotion is possible depending on individual performance in any tier. Very little is illegal in the eyes of a Turian, regarding that every individual completes their duties without stopping somebody else's. Laws exist but are more lenient than the rules humanity are used to. Punishments are a viable option to every Turian if the individual has failed rehabilitation or has undertaken a completely forbidden action. The Turians as a society are based around their military, and it carries over to most aspects of their lives. Everything is rigidly planned, and discipline is the name of the game. From age 15 to 30, every Turian is obligated to serve the government in some capacity, military or otherwise. They are all taught to consider the needs of the many over that of the few, which contributes to their strong military aptitude. In the interest of these views, it's also worth noting that as a military force, the Turians do not seek to exterminate the enemy, but to destroy them, to such an extent that surrender is the only option. One would think that, due to their strict upbringing, the Turians are financially adept as well. But one would be wrong, which is why the Turians adopted an almost symbiotic relationship with the Volus, with the former protecting the latter, and the latter handling the finances of the former in return. Looking into the Turian military, the Turians were allocated more dreadnoughts than any other race, at a number of 37, allowed by the Treaty of Farrickson. In terms of weaponry, Turian soldiers are often seen carrying the Feistan assault rifle, due to the Turian weapon being able to give out more compared to other weapons of its caliber. A popular saying holds true that, I quote, "You will only see the back of a Turian once he's dead." The common Turian is not strongly keen on biotics, and rely much more on handheld combat. Any biotic talents are left to teams of cables, as seen in Mass Effect 3's multiplayer game mode. A few notable Turians from the series include the very popular squadmate Garrus Vicarian, as well as known spectres Saren Arterius and Nihilus Kryek. Very few female Turians are featured within the series, but we were treated with our first in the Omega DLC in Mass Effect 3, known as Nyrene Kandros, a squadmate notable for her hierarchy as the leader of the Talon mercenary group. We are also aware of a Lieutenant Abrudas, a female general who led in the First Contact War, and also two others, Arinia and Dinara, from the Mass Effect Retribution comic, the former of which being a Turian ambassador. So that rounds off my first lore video for Follower. How did I do? I'd like to also give a huge credit to the writers here at Follower for their massive contribution with scripts. Let me know what race you want me to cover next in my lore series, and don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed or learnt something new. And if you do enjoy our content here at MassEffectFollower, then why not also give the channel a subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day everyone. Goodbye.